It's now time for Mission, and this program is supported by Star Ghana with funding from UK Aid, Danida, and the European Union. In a very first story, for pupils of Kamahego Junior High School in the Upper West region, their dream of passing the BECE might not be fulfilled if they continue to lose contact hours, while teachers of the school commute 1 hour daily to the school due to lack of accommodation in the settler community in which the school is located. While Bright Nana Amfo reports teachers sleep in tents to enable them teach their pupils.
The morning prayers is said, and soon they will be in their classrooms. But the teacher to take them through lessons won't be there. He just might have started his journey to school or in the middle of it. It is an hour or more on a motorbike from Wa, Busi or Dafiama, nearby communities. But it can be more during the rainy season. Kamahego is a settler community in the Dafiama Busi Isa district, and so there are no accommodation units for teachers. The community has managed to put up 2 rooms to enable teachers stay in and teach. This is, however, inadequate for 8 teachers.
Almost all of them cannot stay here because they can't find accommodation. From either Dafiama or Busie town to the school will take you about 30 minutes if you're on a motorbike. In a rainy season, you can spend a whole hour getting to school. This is what the teachers do. There's one lady who's a national service person, so she has to stay here permanently, and that's where she stays. Now, the rest of the 7 teachers will have to manage with this. And this is where they sleep. So this is what they do. Now, a group of them, 3, will sleep one night. Now, the next day, the 3 will have to vacate and go to their houses to enable the other 3 to share the room for the next day. And so this is what they do. They practice a kind of a shift accommodation system just to enable them teach these little ones here.
This is to prevent the situation where at any point in time there is no teacher at all.
Some of the schools are at difficult to reach places. You need to travel long distances. And then for the teachers to travel, most of them are residing in Wa town and will have to commute throughout to the schools. So by the time they get there, they will reach school around 10:30. And they have very few hours left to teach and to start going back home. Then the following day, they continue. So you realize that in a week, a teacher will just struggle to make 3 days.
District education authorities fear for the development of these children and are acting fast.
We are trying to cry to the district assembly to see how they can afford to add residential accommodation to the schools. Because at the health sector, if they build a cheap compound, they add a place of accommodation to the cheap compound so that whoever will be there, the nurse that will be there, will not be commuting to the center. He stays at post to aid patients in the night. So we are also pleading with the assembly that when they are putting up classroom blocks, they should think of the accommodation of the teacher.
This is not the school's only difficulty. The building is in a mess, the floor unpaved, and a threat to the health of pupils. Only 3 rooms serve class 1 to 6.
If you go in P1 is not supposed to combine with any class, but we combine P1, 2, and 3. And that if you go in to teach, you don't know whether you are teaching P1, P2, or P3. In that case, some people will be idle and they will be making noise. But all the same, we try to manage.
Appearance is not pleasant. A dusty room means children return home dirty. Teachers say a lot more children won't come to school because of the poor condition of the building. Some won't also come because they live in settler communities far away from the school. The district chief executive, who is only 6 months in office, is working at changing this.
I've already completed 1 junior secondary junior high school and handed over. Plans are advanced also in my composite budget 2018 to roll out more schools that, more infrastructure in schools that need them. And also, we are also even providing motorbikes to help the circuit supervisory team to monitor teachers who don't go to school, so that all these things we will uplift the education that we want to fit into the government's agenda of having education for all.
The Dafiama Busie Issa district, which is a new one, is working at reversing the 30% pass at the last basic education certificate examination. Authorities, however, say the work is enormous and will need support. Bright Nanamfo, TV3.
Unfortunate situation over there where pupils and teachers of Kamahego really need an immediate intervention over there. Let's now focus on health, and they battle poor infrastructure daily in order to save lives. Yet, health workers in the Wa East District of the Upper West region are compelled to use 3 days instead of 1 in traveling to deliver health care. Bright Nana Amfo reports 2 water bodies which divide the district into 2 increases traveling time on a poor road network.
Hey.
Daily, health workers struggle to beat time. Yet, saving lives is a duty they must perform. A poor road network hinders healthcare delivery. No 2 communities are joined by a tarred road in the Wa East District. Commercial vehicles ply route less. It is not profitable. Commuting from one end to the other is therefore a headache. 2 water bodies separate the district. Funsi, the capital, is on one side with over 20 villages, and Bilinga, another community with over 100 villages, on the other.
You cannot cross to the other side of the district without crossing the river. The water is low now, the tides are low, and so I can easily walk across. Motorbikes and vehicles, 4-wheel drives particularly, can also cross. This will enable you to access the other part of the district.
Then the bigger of the 2, the Kulien River. It takes courage to cross even at this time of the year. It is safe to cross at this time, but impossible when the river is full.
That's the scale you need to. There's a certain scale that you need to get to move the car from there. That skill is always gotten by these drivers who have worked here over and over again. This is exactly what happens here on the Kulien River every day. You sit on it, then it crosses.
Go.
But this one, it can't go.
It's to no go. It's too much. Well, water is too much.
Can't go up like this.
It's flowers. It's no day. It's
flower cover flowers.
Yes.
All.
It's carved. That's car park. Water is come. It's there.
The water.
There's the car. The park here.
You go all the way there.
Yeah,
Top.
Yeah, car park here. Water is come. Fly.
He's trying to tell me how the river can get filled up to the extent that you won't even see the vegetation around. We parked our car about some 5 minutes drive away. He said the water can get there so that you can't even park there when the water is filled up.
Medical consumables are not delivered on time. Documents are not signed early enough. Healthcare delivery is delayed. Pregnant women who need health care don't get it. They sit for hours waiting for healthcare officials who turn up late.
We have to travel more distance than the other district. So time that we would have used to work is always lost as a result of long travel hours. And aside that, the risk of being on the bike is very, very, very high.
District health officials have, however, devised means to deal with the problem.
In terms of logistic provision, what we do is to provide some at that section, bullying section for them, where the storekeeper will have to move from here to that place to serve them. And when there's a need for them to what we cannot provide, then we make a requisition for them to go to the medical store at the region to pick that one.
But this doesn't solve the entire problem. Their plea is for bridges to be constructed on the two water bodies.
The road network system in Wa is actually posing a threat to health issues in the area. Within the Fonsi township, that is the district capital, sometimes we just use the grader to sip within, but the assembly will not have that capacity to finance graveling or opening up a road to link some communities.
If central government doesn't come in, that road, that's where if you have to cross 3 big rivers before you get to those communities. And so in fact for the past 3 months, none of us could get there in order to render services to them. Through nobody's fault. So if central government comes in, just open up the place, make sure the road network is available. Then on the ground, we will also be filling up the patches there.
Quality healthcare cannot be achieved until the two separated parts of the district are linked by 2 bridges.
So in a case of an emergency, what will health workers and patients in the district do? Well, we will certainly follow up on this development. That's it for Mission. This program is supported by Star Ghana with funding from UK Aid, Danida and the European Union. Join us again same time next week for another edition. Thanks for watching.